Welcome guys to the finale of episode 3. We've been stuck on this since part 6, and now we're on part 11. But this has probably been the most interesting so far. I mean, the Mia case the Mia Fey was pretty good. Of course, now in session for the trial. Your prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of the trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, yada yada yada. Watch part 9. Very well. Seem a bit on the edge today. You may call your first witness, Steve Equise. Here we go. Will the witness state her name and occupation? Steve Equise, I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes. I just like needless banter. If you must be proficient, do it when I'm not here. Very well, Ms. Equise. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Nick? No, I'm joking. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12. Sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterward, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I asked Sal take me. 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Found 8 T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fartigated, so you had takes Sal with you. Van. There's a van at Studio 2. That would take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk with that monkey's head toppling over. I see. Very well. Hold on. You had Sal take you. What do you mean? I mean, what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, alright. Alright, guys. Mind you, we have a lot on the line in this episode. So let's give it our best shot. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. Witness does not have to come idle to engage in conversation. That could be said to you. Please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Ugh. Poor Edgeworth. I do want to say, no, that does not work. Oh wait, I already got this. And what were you doing at that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. She won't have time to make a mistake. If I had some evidence. Next or anything? So I have to have evidence that she did not eat the T-bone steak. But what can I present? That's an enable. I don't want to do much. What time does it reach? I've forgotten. Maybe you should try remembering? No. Think, come on, all you did. Let's take the obvious over. Oh. By yourself? Yes. And you did stop at the employees area? No. We always just tears or terse. Oh dear. So we have to have proof that she didn't eat the steak. Oh, okay. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. The plate had on the table in the employees area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you, it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Mr. Tweese and Mr. Manila ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plate. They were bare. Mr. Tweese, how can you eat a T-bone steak and not have the bone? I think you didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak because you took your steak and threw it somewhere like the indicator. I see. Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order, are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Tweese left the trailer to eat her steak, but she ran into the Steel Samurai, and you did it. I was just eating some, but... And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Friggin', I don't know why I keep taking pictures. Barry. You alright? Isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Mr. Wright? Don't claim you'd say I did it. Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well, let's see. Let's have us a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vince Squeeze. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon? Oh yes, this samurai spear. I am the woman, as you can see, a woman of pursuit state. How could I? You couldn't, could you? I think you had a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. Huh. You see? Hold on. Okay. Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? What's the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that it was not the spear. Wrong, Mr. Wright, but I haven't said anything yet. I know you're wrong. Present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. That's so fast. Remember that this spear broke this morning. But someone fixed it. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Tell me, how is this possible? For someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest. Order, order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what your silence. I'm the one testifying here. I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell, what was it? How was Hammer killed? I can tell you. I can make a claim on how he was killed. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of the very accident. Not a word of this was leaked out. It was a close-kept secret at the studio. What does it have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you can't see it? See the man in the photo? See how the fence post pierced through his chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2 p.m. on the same day of the murder. Mr. Dee Van Quees meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stair onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way the other guy did 5 years ago? Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I can see a man like you on my script writing stuff. You deny what I said is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trial as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil Meg's costume, no less. Are you claiming that someone carried the body? Returned. How could I have disturbed this body? So it's 15-minute break. Come on, She had another way. For instance, actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Ms. Van Queest, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used this studio van to do it. We're doing it. Recall your testimony. There was to be rehearsal studio, so we went there one. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there. I had Sal drive me on the right. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the Mega Street costume. Mega Street. Hold on, right? Don't forget, it was Sal that drove the van. Precision. Would he? I mean, probably, because... Of course he was, because he was dirt. Of course Sal was. Consider here. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. No way Ms. Bequeath could have done it alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Mr. Van Queest, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? So, what happens next? Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Who could say? Huh? Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? You just engaged in a battle of wits, and the results of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right, but that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack desired proof, Mr. Wright. What? 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 They're like, what? No way. No, he's not denied proof. Are you stupid? Order, Mr. Edwards. Your thoughts? Of course, as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very unlikely she did, but there's no proof. Edwards isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today, but if... Unfortunately, Eric, what do I do now? Okay. Let's have her testify again. Testify again. I like you to testify. Testify again. You know when know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if you were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I said, what would happen if I said it again? It was done. No. No. I am not. You did it, Miss Van Queest. You did it, Miss Van Queest. That wasn't a question. Did you do it? No. It's right. Yes, Your Honor. Not sure that questions help that court get any closer to the verdict. What do I do now? Come on. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I see very well. Your Honor! I request that there was a protest again. You were protesting. Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear it again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see any way you gain by repeating the last several minutes, Mr. Edwards. I too see a little point. What exactly did you want to testify about? Indeed, very good. I say, here we go. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body, very well. What did Edwards? Who knows? Probably realized that she did it too. But wasn't he the one that he always get a guilty verdict? After all, Edgeworth. I was out in an old bag. The security lady when I found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. Merely called the police, then Powers showed up. Security lady was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get the transcription in no direction. I went home. I know issue raised in the testimony measure. We're close, real close. You may be acting tough, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. What was everybody else doing at the time? No one said a thing. It was completely silent. Stood there until Powers finally arrived at the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then dead silence. Silence. Nick, why they were so quiet? Everyone should do something to lighten things up. You asked to be left out? Yeah, it seems that everyone wanted to be... And I'm not really fond of that type of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, and there was no way we could have been involved if they covered for us. Covered up. Scripts in your direction notes. They're quite valuable. I want to... Wait a second. I thought you came to... Why didn't you bring your scripts and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we won't be able to enforce anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Objection! Your Honor, I have an objection to that one. Yeah, wait a minute. You're an idiot. She's an idiot. Guys, she's a literal idiot. You want to know why? Because here's the thing. She literally just said there was a murder. But how would she know that there was a murder when she was just going there? Huh? Think. Mr. McQueen said she didn't bring the scripts to rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have known about the murder before going to Studio One. Oh, that's what I'm saying, dog. Order, Mr. Edgeworth. But you just said the reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the computer would make such a move. Are you thinking of a career change defense? I am here I'm pushing you to consider, Your Honor. I'll stand by my statements, however, regardless of... Oh, the court sees my role here. The queen. Do you have an explanation? I can't believe what is up with you. So the prosecution is in the cahoots with its end. What kind of court is this? No matter, I think you misunderstood me. Perfectly reason. Very well. No, Sal, he told me. But it wasn't. But that wasn't Sal who. Hammer didn't get hurt. Yeah, you knew that Hammer was injured. Do you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? You fool! Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging the leg, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it. Sal who told me. That's right. He must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Mr. Queese? You saw her limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah! And when he was doing this, well, it would have been after he put on the samurai costume. When he murder. Exactly! Mr. Queeth, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai Olympics. Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit, and that's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order, I will have witnesses. Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see, talk this one out. Very well, I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want nothing to gain? You need motive. Of course I can prove it. Of course, I have proof. Okay. Here's my proof. This is the photo from before. The photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Finquise? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Finquise's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for the trial began on that day, 5 years ago. Remarkably enough, that accidentally precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Finquise, accused Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bring us to the present day, Mr. Hammer's last role as evil man. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the X-Star. One more moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. Almost seems like if was Mr. Hammer who had killed Mr. Queeze, not the other way around. What motive would Mr. Queeze have? Yeah, you're right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Mr. Hammer. And I never get rid of useful men. It's possible, Mr. Wright. Okay. This is my proof, and this tells us why. Okay? I say all it proves is that the defense attorney has completely lost his marble. She had no motives? She had no motives, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who's out for blood. All Ms. Queese did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Van Queen. What? What? Your Honor? Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to full security later to thinking he was Powers. When Jack made it to his trailer, and for what purpose, you ask? To kill the Vanquise, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him for all these years. Why are you mad? Literally, why are you mad? You're not going to jail. So, you did it. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes, I'm guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Miss Van Quees. What happened? What happened here? Manu fell from the trailer stairs? Manuel! Miss Van Quees, please try to remain calm. No! How could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No! Manuel, don't touch him, Miss Van Quees. No! Please don't die, please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again. You lost before? Highly doubt that. Mr. Edgeworth, where's these please? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever. I see, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought out, about yet another miracle. Hi, thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found, so it's only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. And the court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. This is all. The court is adjourned. Wow. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm very glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Van Quees, but I really think that he tried to frame me for the murder? Makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me why. Why did... Sorry, what does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean, man? Nick, you know that's probably present evidence that makes no sense. You're doing it again. Congrats, WP. Oh. Thank you. I'll be able to don the steel samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume, man. Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah! Nick, Edgeworth. Ah! It's Sephiroth! Oh. Say something right. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Van Quees have gotten away. If Van Quees would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Ha ha. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Or Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right? I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again, however, in retrospect, would have been better had not we met. Thanks to you, I've settled unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Those kinds of things. They only serve to get my way. You listen to me, Phoenix. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend? What? Friend? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now, I guess we are. What? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? So the curtain closes on another trial. It caused quite a stir by revealing that incident from years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studio rethought its programming change, then went back to making kid shows. Pink Princess. Nick, this is it. The new show starts today. Are you gonna watch it with me? I admit I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. Oh no, I don't think the real world is ready for the real Will Powers. Well, guys, that ends another trial of the Ace Attorney. I'm going to see if I can go and fix the picture. I'm trying to fix this. Alright, well, hold on. I guess I'll have to take a picture here. Guess I'll do the rest here, too, while I'm here. Alright, so we need that one. That one. That one. Oh, Dark Souls. Guys, look! I'm playing Dark Souls! No way. Well, guys, that concludes another episode of the Great Ace Attorney. I mean, not Great Ace Attorney. That's another game. But thank you all for watching. Hopefully you all enjoy the series. I'm going to go and edit the thumbnails, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.